Welcome to Savvy Business, Life Unscripted, with your host, Christina Rivera, where our guests share their wisdom and valuable business tips, empowering our audience to expand their personal potential.
Hi, Maury Rogow. Welcome to Savvy Broadcasting Life Unscripted. I'm so grateful to have you here today. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm grateful to have you here. We spoke a couple months ago. I know we spoke just before the interview, and I said, a couple weeks ago. No, it's a couple months ago. Time is just passing.
Time nowadays.
But, we talked about the importance of effectively using video marketing. I don't think people realize the implications of how businesses can grow using video as in their marketing. And it's a very important thing, very important format to use for your business, but not a lot of people are familiar how to integrate it, how that looks. They might not be tech savvy. As I mentioned, I wasn't many years ago with both video and audio, but it's not too hard. And you're going to kind of break it down for them and help them integrate it into their business. But before we go there, just share with our audience a little bit about your backstory and how you got to where you are today.
Sure, happy to. So it's kind of a varied backstory. So I started off in just a kid from Pittsburgh. I still feel like that kid from Pittsburgh, and Hollywood was so far away. But I'd always dreamed about coming out here where I live now. So, and making movies and TV shows and commercials and that kind of thing. And I started off my career, and it was a bad time. It was deep in recession in early 90s. And I moved to Washington, D.C. I actually got myself into high tech, and I started selling really expensive, really complex software products. So, what's this have to do with story, right? Well, why is this part of the origin story? And it's because it took an hour to explain what we did, why it's important, how it's valuable for our customers. And I kept saying, to fight to get in the door to do this big PowerPoint presentation, I've got to find a way to streamline this. So I actually created the first video for our company. So I created a video back then, just hacked together these different programs and made a 90-second, 2-minute video that explained the value of what we do. And we started sending it out, right? Sending it out, showing it, screen sharing it, that kind of thing. And then showing it in the presentations. People are like, I totally get it. And that led to, no kidding, millions. And I mean, literally tens of millions of dollars in sales. Awesome. Not just for me, but for each region. And we were a tiny little company. So I realized, wow, the power of telling a good story, the power of using video is astronomical. And I started to realize that, your business, your brand, and even your personal brand or your company is going to thrive or die based on the story you tell. And I watched it with our competitors in high tech. And so I started feeling, really good about what I was doing. And I went to a couple other companies and I said, I'm going to go to the big time now. I'm cutting a lot of the story out. But next thing you know, next sort of big event is I'm standing on stage and I have 22 minutes to win $500,000. I'm like, how does that happen? Right? How did that backtrack it? I'm actually on a game show. And the whole way to get on this game show is called Deal or No Deal with Howie Mandel. And how I got on there, like getting on the show and doing the show is, one thing, but getting on was 1,000 people auditioning for this. And I watched people go up and tell their story, who they are. And I was like, I could just tell my stories. I'll just tell my stories in my 3-act structure, all the things that I've learned. Boom. Next thing you know, I'm literally standing on stage. Wow. So I was like, this is something. So that's what sort of elevated me into, wow, I think I can do this. I ended up producing 2 films. And now over 1,000 commercials, because the short form, the trailer that tells you about the movie was always more fun to me than the 3-year process of making a movie. I'm going to take all the goodness there, boil it down, and then make trailers. And so I started making business trailers. And then all of a sudden, hundreds of customers and thousands of videos later, that's where I am.
Boom. Boom, we're here. It's true. You know what? When I would go to the movies with my husband, he'd be like, oh, we have plenty of time. The trailers are going to be about 20 minutes before the movie starts. It's like, no, I want to be there for that. Yes. They're fun. It's like saying the abridged best parts of the upcoming films. And plus, if it really is juicy, I'll want to see the whole film. So I want to see what's coming up. But yeah, you're so right about that. And I think his name's Dan Locke that always says stories. Facts tell, stories sell.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that's so integral, because it's true. The thing that really hooks people, and if you can build that emotional connection with your story to your product, service, or information, they'll be like, now I get it. I know how you can help me, because that story has really illustrated how you can make a difference in my life. But it's through that story and that emotional component of story that pulls your potential clients in.
You just said a huge key word there, emotional. People think it's the emotional content, whether you think you're using it or you're not, you're using it. And the customers and the prospects are hearing you. And so if you're not telling something that's engaging to them emotionally, and I've kind of boiled it down after watching every viral video that I could, best movies literally from like the blockbusters Avatar to The Godfather to No Country for Old Men. There are 5 emotions that are hit in every scene of every movie. And if you're not hitting one of those emotions, they usually trash the scene and cut it out. And that's what commercials are based on. And those 5 emotions, if you want, I can share them.
Go for it.
Okay, so it's because people are like, oh, no, we sell accounting software. We're not going to touch emotions. You are, because you're going to make somebody feel better, stronger, faster, thinner, or better at their job, so they can be at home with their family more, so they can accelerate in their career. And those, you can just hone it down to, I call it the stuff. What's the stuff in your story? So it's what's sexy or sizzles? Is this scene, does this commercial, does this segment, is it sexy or does it sizzle? Now, again, it's not lingerie brands and makeup and things like that. A car zooming down the road is certainly sexy. Going across the beach, that's sort of sexy sizzles. I like it. It's visual. It's awesome. T, touching. Does it touch the heart? Is it nostalgic? Can I be with my child? In a commercial, we want to see the child laughing or happy or sad, right? So is it touching? U is totally unique and unexpected. When they expect you as an insurance salesperson to come out with the old, let's scare these people, and you come out with something funny, that kind of thing. So go unexpected. First F is funny, which I just alluded to, funny or fun. And then the last one is fear. And a lot of times that's just fear of missing out. So Silicon Valley uses that all the time. Are you going to invest in us, or are you going to miss out on the next unicorn? Right. So it's almost inspiring, but you're eliciting fear at the same time. So when you're telling a story, you're making a video, whether it's just a little face-to-face video like this, or an explainer video, or an animated commercial, you've got to use emotion. So I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of my favorite commercials are that, and Geico. I mean, who would have thought that little Geico thing, Geico, would turn into such a big thing? And, I love those commercials. And then there's a couple others, like Progressive does a good job. Isn't it funny? The insurance companies here.
Yeah.
But they do a great job, and they're selling insurance, but they make me remember them.
They're all going with humor now. That's exactly right. Yeah. State Farm, they're all going humor. Yeah. Because the other ones, it's too heavy, especially what's going on in the world, wherever, especially in our country, it's better to lighten things up. You got to get people you got to disrupt their day. You got to disrupt them for a second, and then you're memorable.
Now go about that disrupt. That I've heard a lot about, disrupt a product or disrupting. It's kind of like that boom, that punch. How do you get to the disrupt value where you can bring whatever you have to show people in a way that disrupts them?
Right. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. And so I don't want to, I have 10 rules of story, which I actually don't think we have that much time to go through, but I'll give a link and that kind of thing for people. But one of the first rules, first rule, I call it, is audience. Know your audience. If you know the demographics, psychographics, age, gender, etc., you can speak right to them. That's the most important, right? If you try to talk to the world, you will miss. If you try to speak to everybody, you absolutely miss. You got to win niche by niche by niche. And the second rule is disrupt. You got to do something totally unexpected especially, now within the first 6 seconds. Wow. Think about a YouTube ad or IGTV, these things, the scroll is going to continue, or I can skip this is going to happen. So you've got to do something fast that's totally different. And I have ads that they work really well. We created for customers and even for our own, for myself, for my own brand, where I'm standing there talking for 2 seconds and an alien grabs me and yanks me off screen. Yeah. Right. So they're like, what was that? And it's, they were doing that to steal the download that I'm offering, that kind of thing. So, disrupting, again, you don't have to be that off the wall. You don't have to be that fun or crazy, but you've got to do something a little bit different to disrupt people's thinking, or else you're humdrum and you're just part of the scroll.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And right now there's so many messages. I've heard that marketing, from signs in the street to ads to TV commercials, are bombarding people at an alarming rate. And how do you make the difference where they're going to remember your ad? Like for me, remembering Geico, excuse me, with the Geico is something that's memorable. But for each business, you have to think of what's that way that you can stand out and be memorable.
Exactly. So the key is it's 70,000 pieces of information are hitting us each day. 70,000. So it's buzzers and bells and our phones and this and the siren that goes outside. All that stimulation. That just think 150 years ago when we were farming or moving to cities, that didn't exist. Maybe we had 1,000 stimulations. Now it's overload. So you have to do something as a brand to stand out. And I don't want to. Let me just say this. Okay. Is video going to work? The answer is yes. Categorically, statistically, you're 10 times more likely to succeed. Mm-hmm. Does that mean you're going to win every time? No. Does it mean you're going to lose if you don't have video? No. But if you want to increase your chances by 10x, right, then use video, make it your friend. And there's like I said, there's the rules, there's the emotional content, there's 3 act structure, there's pieces of creating video that anybody can use. And whether your budget is literally zero and you've got a webcam, or your budget is hundreds of thousands and you're going to be creating commercials, web commercials, that kind of thing, the same rules apply to everybody. And I don't want to be too promotional, but I do want to say we put a class together so that people can learn these rules. Again, I'm in a video production house here in Hollywood. We're making the commercials in these pieces, and I keep finding the small businesses, they just don't know what they're doing. And a lot of times they call another company. We've never spoken with them. They're like, look, we tried something last year. We got burned. We lost all this money. Yeah. I was like, well, we can fix it, or we can create something new. And over the last couple of years, I said, you know what? I'm just going to create a course so these people stop getting burned. So they stop literally wasting thousands of dollars to teach them. Here's what you do. I mean, here's what I teach our producers. Mm-hmm. And here's how you tell a great story. Here's the structure of a great story. And when I say story, I'm talking commercial. Mm-hmm. It could be anywhere along the customer journey, because with video, your business can scale and repeat. And I just came up with this morning, thinking about our call here. And it was, all right, you're a business owner. I hand you a candle and light it. Okay, a candle, not a match, but a candle. Go make a sale before it burns your fingers. Okay, now I give you that candle, I light it, but that candle is 10 times longer. Okay, now go make a sale. Okay, you can relieve, you have some relief. I've got a while here and I can do all these strategies. I can create ads, I can do this, I can touch customers and that kind of thing. And that candle, I kind of feel like that's the video. It's doing the job that burned all those cycles of you doing things, telling the same stories, doing the same sales pitch. The video should be doing all that for you. Then you can repeat, scale, and grow.
Yeah, I love that. And Maury, what's interesting about it is I think people get so concerned with the prettiness of the package. I think maybe 10 years ago, the prettiness of the package was more important. I remember people saying, pretty Facebook ads and sitting there with, airplanes behind them, whatever, showing my business. But now, what I think it's become important for the daily customers or people out there is like, I want to see real people I can relate to. I don't want to see fancy schmancy, whatever. What do you have? How can you help me? Do I need, want it, desire it? Show me that. And it doesn't have to always be in a super pretty box, but it does have to, as you said, be engaging and be that emotional component that grabs someone.
That's absolutely right. I do feel that there should be, one or two or more, if you're a larger company, like your videos need to match your brand. Oh, if you're selling a $50,000 item or $100,000 consulting, you've got to up it a notch, right? You've got to match the level of your product. If you're selling a book, then hey, record yourself, talk about the book, that kind of thing. But if your brand is more expensive, more elite in quality, then I think your video does too. Mm-hmm. But I always suggest at least one high quality, really, yes, more expensive, but high quality video. I call that the marquee. That's the marquee that people are going to see when they land on your web page, or your landing page, that kind of thing. Wow, I know them, I like them, I trust them. It all kind of fits in when I see this. And then if they go to the next step, that's when you can start to get more and more authentic a face-to-face video, right? A recording of yourself, that kind of thing, where no budget is needed, but you've already got people and attracted them in that this company's going to last. They're going to be around. If I buy from them, they'll be there next year because they can afford to do something of quality. It's a very subtle psychological thing people go through.
Exactly. And video can be so important to use, to especially if you're a service-based entrepreneur or information-based, where you can share certain things. Like this is phenomenal. During the pandemic, there was a place near my house, a spa. And, now you're thinking the poor guys are going to go out of business because what they gave is nice massages and treatments. But they immediately said, okay, boom, people need help. They still want to feel great and find these ways to self-pamper themselves. Yeah. So what they did, they put together these videos, and they weren't super amazingly produced. But what they did do is like, here, we're going to show you a face cream thing that you could do at home, or put together the perfect bath, and we'll ship you maybe the salt or whatever. But you know what? They stayed in business and they're still doing well. And what it was, they kept front of mind and gave that value, and that were there for you constantly. So even though their doors could not be open, they were still there for their customers and front of mind for their customers. So video was such a great component during COVID to help them stay in business.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see the differences of the businesses that are falling away or fell away, and the ones that are still able to either survive and some thrive because they're doing something that, you said it's adding value. And there's no better way to do it. Like, use the vehicle that gives the most value, which is video. I mean, some people are looking at us right now and seeing us and seeing the emotion and passion, on my face and your face about this. And it helps. It helps the story come across.
Absolutely. Now, you had mentioned a wonderful course you're presenting. How can they get in contact and take the course, find out more about you, and how can they do that?
Thanks. Thank you very much. Well, the course is really, it's for, you've got to learn some basics, right? So whether you're a personal brand, you're going out for job interviews, literally can help those folks. If you're doing a pitch of a product or service, or you already have your company established, it rolls through all the basics, like everything that I've learned over, 30 years now, being in business. And it teaches you how to tell your brand story, how to make yourself unique, how to stand out and apart from your competition, and there's only 3 ways to get new customers, right? There's only 3 ways to increase revenue. Mm-hmm. And that's get new customers, increase revenue per customer, or increase the amount of sales per customer. I mean, we really get down to it. Wow, is that basic? So I separated those 3 and said, here's how you do it with video in the first, how to get more customers. That would be more ads, social, that kind of thing. And then we go into revenue per customer. That's higher quality customers, people that, buy again, buy higher ticket. And then there's repeat customers. So I structured all around that. You learn 3-act structure. I actually give people, here's 18 scripts that sell that we've been using for years. And I put all this on Lights. It's called Lights, Camera, Sales.
Oh, I like that.
Camera action, Lights, Camera, Sales, and go to lightscamerasales.com. Mm-hmm. And the course is there. It's ready to, it's up. People are taking it, and it's really, really cool. I discounted it like crazy. And through that link, there's a code there. So your listeners get 50% off. This is very new for me. I mean, we've been enterprise accounts, but I was like, I just got to do this, especially for small businesses that need some help. And so Lights, Camera, Sales is that. My company is RIP Media Group, where we make the commercials and explainer videos and things. And, we also have a sub-brand called the Video Bot, where people can literally just go in and create a video in a minute, and then they're done. They can just do that for free right now. So those are probably the 3 best.
Wonderful. So lightscamerasales.com. And to get the discount, do they put in any code or anything? Or
I actually put the code. I put a code in there on Lights, Camera, Sales. The actual website address is a little different, but that one is for your folks for the next month or so.
That's awesome. That's fabulous. And if they want your services for your company to help build any commercials or video ad for them, would it go ripmediagroup.com?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have to thank you because I know how beneficial video can be, especially at this time where everything is going virtual, to use it in a very effective way that can just pull in people and draw them into what you have to offer and what they desire and need. I know you guys are going to help them do that. Thank you so much, Maury, for coming out here today and sharing your great wisdom on Savvy Broadcasting. Truly a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Like, subscribe, and share this episode. To listen to more savvy episodes and savvy biz tips, go to www.lifeunscriptedradio.com. To find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest, email Christina at lifeunscriptedradio.com.